Alright, today we are going to deal with my baby hairs because they're not. Let's go home. Bald spot. Let's cover this bald spot. Because I'm going bald and I'm old. An old man on the inside going bald. And nobody needs to know that. Everybody knows it. Okay, so dealing with criticism on a daily basis. So what I mean by on a daily basis is pretty much strangers are going to criticize you for anything that you do. Now, when you are a pastor's child, or when you are any person with like any position in this world, like a CEO or a manager's child, or I don't know, something, you pretty much understand and you realize that being criticized is like the normality of things. It's like super normal to be criticized. Everybody does it to you, and sometimes we have to like bite our tongues and not say anything back, and we can't really defend ourselves because then we make situations worse for ourselves. I should know firsthand experience because I've done it to myself so many times, trying to defend my parents or trying to defend my siblings when I've heard criticisms about them, or when I've heard judgment about them. Now, there's like a whole bunch of types of criticisms. There's ones where it's like it's meant to help you. They're coming from people who really do want the best for you. And then there's some where they just want to
criticize every single thing that you do because they find nothing wrong with their life, and they think that if, you know, they just say whatever they want, that nobody's really going to catch on to what they say, and they think that nobody's going to really call them out for all the stuff that they say.
It's not really how it works. The constructive criticism part, you know, nobody likes to be corrected. Nobody likes to be told, you know, like maybe you should change doing this. But constructive criticism really does help you out as a person. It does help you out as a leader, as, you know, anybody who wants to prosper in life. Things like that are gonna help you get better with any place that you are in your current situation. Now, then there's just criticisms, the kinds where they're not really meant to help you. They're more meant to hurt you, and they're more meant to judge you based off of an insecurity that that person has who is judging you. For example, I love to wear black. I love dark colors, and I've been criticized for it. I've been called a whole bunch of crap because of it. So I'm thinking that all those people who have called me witches are
probably witches themselves.
Nobody ever really knows. We won't really freaking find out, will we? Unless we stalk them and figure things out for ourselves. I'm gonna need holy water. Another thing also is dealing criticisms. For example, this is more specifically for people who are like in church or like in any type of religion. When your parent is like a pastor like me, or when your parent is a leader, or when your parent has any type of position, you're gonna end up dealing with a whole bunch of criticism. You're gonna end up dealing with people who are going to wanna just judge your parents because they're not getting what they want. From my end, I've heard that my parents don't help people out at all, that they're entitled, and that, you know, they do whatever they want. It's not something that it's easily, you know, that can be easily swallowed. In other words, it's not something that me personally I can keep my mouth shut about and not really like express myself, because when I know something is wrong and I can be very strongly opinionated, I have no problem in saying what I need to say. I have no problem in, you know, releasing what's in my mouth.
Release the Krakens!
Luckily, you know, all of my cousins, all of us in our family, we're all pastors' kids, so we all have that relationship where we can just get together and we can just like vent to each other and just like unwind and really talk to each other about how we feel, like, you know, this and this happened in my church and this is how I felt about it. So it's like a nice safe haven within ourselves, within our family, where we can talk to each other. But the number one thing that's been the hardest for me has just been learning how to not let it affect me personally, because I know my parents are good people. I know that they do their best, and there's only so much that two people can do. There's only so much that a team of leaders can do for a big church. But the main issue is that these people that have talked, these people that have opened their serpent mouth, these people who have decided to say these things, those are the people who have never asked for help at all personally to them, or they like to play the victim a lot. That's my brother talking in the background. He's really loud. I think he's on the phone. Yeah, I think he's done. But then there are people too who just want to criticize you for something so small. Now, there are a lot of people that I have also come into counter with who claim to be holier than thou and judge me and my brother and my sister and my mom and my dad for like the smallest things. Like, for example, I listen to all kinds of music. Now, to some Christians that's a sin, because to them they could be like easily influenced by what the music is saying. To me, I just like music. I listen to anything except for screamo, because I don't understand a word that they say, or gigolo music, because it's just so weird to me. But it's my personal preference. Anyways, I listen to all kinds of music. I will, like, literally, I can be in the store, I can listen to a song once and like I'll get the melody down in that moment, and then if I listen to it again, or if I hear it again, like obviously I'm going to end up learning the lyrics. But to me, there's nothing wrong with me. Music hasn't influenced me in the bad sense. Music hasn't like pushed me to kill people or to push drugs or to do anything like that. Like, music hasn't, you know, I'm not that stupid either, you know, because some people are dumb and they do whatever they hear that they should be doing when they know it's not the good thing, but they still do it. Also, like with art stuff, I love all kinds, well, not all kinds of art, because there are some arts in this world, like that naked weird art where people are doing it with each other and people just watch them. What the hell is that? That's so weird. I'm not into that. But I like art. I've always been like paintings, like mosaics and like all this stuff. Like, I've always loved, like, I freaking have this thing in my room. Like, I wouldn't have it in here if I didn't like it. But I'll get like judged for that. And I remember just like this one time, somebody had ended up catching me like on Snapchat, and we were like dancing to the song El Sonidito. And for all of y'all who don't know it, that song is freaking hilarious, especially when you like put it behind anything that makes no sense to it, but it like goes to the beat. You know, like I'm like going all into that, and I'm like hanging out with a whole bunch of friends, and we're like laughing. First of all, like all those friends too, like we're all Christians, like we all get the same kind of jokes, and I like do like these like weird dance moves. And of course, like, because we're all teenagers and we all live in the age of technology and whatnot, somebody's bound to put it on Snapchat or on Facebook or on Instagram or somewhere like that. So it got posted up. I didn't really care. I watched all the stories that were posted up. And the thing was bad was that they were all laughing, and it was like, it was quickly done. Of course, it got back to some people who don't understand what a joke is and who don't understand what hanging out with friends is. And instead of them like approaching in such like a well way, like they decided to call me out based off of me calling them out for something that I had told them that I wanted to talk to them for them like a long time ago. So you're going to face people whose level of maturity is just not where it needs to be, and you're going to face people who are older than you and their level of maturity is not going to be as high as yours. It's surprising because people always think that I'm older, my level of maturity is obviously going to be greater than yours, and a lot of people have disrespected me because I'm either a decade younger than a decade younger than them, or like 2 decades younger than them, and they're not going to want to listen to me because they're probably thinking I'm just a stupid 22-year-old who doesn't know what they're doing and who's still trying to figure out their life, which is partly true. I'm not stupid. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm doing. I'm really young, all right, but everybody went through the same age too, where they were still trying to figure out what they wanted to do with their lives, if they still wanted to get married, if they wanted to continue with school, if they wanted to adopt another dog, which is something that I have been debating with myself, but my parents are not for it. They are against me adopting and sneaking in another dog, but you know, with prayer anything is possible, so who knows. You know, you're gonna face people who are just gonna really push your buttons, and people who are just gonna want you to push them to a wall and hit them with a chair, but obviously you can't act that out because it's freaking illegal. You can't do that. It's not normal. I shouldn't have these thoughts in my head at all. Somebody please send help. No, I'm just kidding. And then you're gonna face people too who are going to smile in your face. They're gonna act like they're your best friend and whatnot. And then the minute you do something to correct their behavior, which honestly I feel like a true friend is somebody who's gonna tell you when you're wrong and they're not gonna feel bad about it, because a true friend wants to see you prosper, all right? They don't want to see you like hung up somewhere, and they don't want to see you like strung out doing stupid stuff knowing that they could have helped you. But you're also gonna face people who were in your life for at one point, and you know, who were like your good friends at one point, and all they're gonna want to do is criticize every single thing they do because they're jealous of the place that you're at. I've had people who have claimed to be my friends, and then the minute they see me prospering, it's like I have like a million bunch of defects placed on me, and they're just jealous because they haven't gotten to the place where I'm getting to. Now, I do have friends who have surpassed my level of where I want to be as a person, who have prospered in their finances, their mental state, their physical state, their emotional state, and every single state. But I've never at one point, you know, have felt jealous over them. If anything, I try to surround myself with people who I know are going to push me and pull me upward, who I know are going to help me get to the next level, and who I know aren't going to leave me behind the minute they get somewhere where they want to go. Instead, those are the people who have shown me how to get there, who have corrected me in the things that I've needed to be corrected in. That did not sound out nice, but I appreciate those people because they've taught me so much. They've taught me, you know, how to grow up. They've taught me how to be more mature. They've taught me how to deal with people who are really, you know, who really bother me, who really irk me, and I appreciate those people. But not everybody is like me. Not everybody is like you know, well, I'm hoping the person who's watching this isn't the kind of person who likes to bring people down and likes to criticize them for every single small thing. But, you know, there are just people who are going to act like they want the best things for you, but all they're really going to do is gossip about you with their mom or their dad, or they're going to talk crap about you with your friends, trying to get them against you, or they're going to try to manipulate the people that are around you so that slowly and little by little they gain the people that are friends with you. Now, unfortunately, in some circumstances, it is going to happen where people are going to be persuaded by them and they are going to stop being your friends and they're not going to be talk to you anymore. And that person's going to feel all high and mighty because they have so-and-so on their team. But at the end of the day, actions always speak louder than words. If you know where you stand and you know that you're not going to talk crap about them, if they want to continue to talk crap about you to their pillows or to their moms or to their dads, let them do that. At the end of the day, your actions should always be mature. Instead of you bashing on them, instead of you hating on them, you should really pray for them. And instead of you know, feeling some type of way, like, I'm not saying like you're not allowed to feel mad. Of course you're going to be pissed off somebody's talking crap about you. Everybody feels that way. But, you know, instead of you acting upon that anger, take that anger and just push it into something better for this world. I've had to face many people who have talked crap about not just me, but about my parents. You know, I've always said you can talk smack all about me, all that you want. I don't care what you say about me. You can say that I'm fat, that I'm a hoe, a whole bunch of stuff, knowing that it's not gonna get to me because I know who I am. But the minute you talk about my parents, the two people who have always been so selfless, two people who have always been so filled with love and compassion, and two people who always want the best for everybody else. When you talk crap about people like that just really shows to me that you're possessed, or that you're a demon, or, you know, you're a piece of poop. Because people like that really are crappy. I mean, I'm not gonna hide it either. But, you know, when you talk about people who have always helped you out, people, like, I've seen my parents come home late at night, like really late at night, and I've heard them come in and I can tell that they're tired, but they don't go to bed angry. From what I can tell, they don't go to bed, you know, pissed off because so-and-so called them in the middle of the night with a crisis. If anything, they've always been more than happy to help. Of course, they get frustrated not being able to give an answer right away, but that's because they're also humans too. They also need to figure out what needs to go down. My best advice is, when you face people who are going to judge you and who are going to gossip about you for the smallest things, you have to realize too, people only judge you and they gossip about you based off of an insecurity that they have. If they call you selfish, if they call you an angry and bitter person, that's probably because that's something that they carry in their hearts. If they call you, you know, I don't know what else, like if they call you a slut, if they call you a hoe, if they call you a ding dong, they're probably a ding dong, they're probably a slut and a hoe themselves. They just don't want to admit to it. A lot of the times judgments and gossip come out of personal envies, personal jealousy, personal insecurities, and that's a lot of things that people don't realize. So another great word of advice, anything you gotta say behind somebody's back, you should always have the backbone to say it to their face. That's why I ain't scared to tell nobody nothing. Or as a person, probably needs a little bit help going through this. Or as somebody who needs blah, 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 blah. Okay, anyways. So today we're going to deal about how you deal with, really? You couldn't practice that at least. Today we're going to talk about dealing, or I guess as in any regular person who goes through this on a daily basis. A decade. Another cool thing about dealing with criticism is knowing how to deal with criticism. Criticism is when you don't want to deal with criticism, it's no more. Blah, blah, blah. All right, no.